So then all of a sudden, a few years later, when you are fit and you have all the things that you never had, you're kind of like, oh, this is weird. Like, I don't really feel worthy of it, or I feel like a bit of an imposter. Like, this is weird. Why am I getting the attention? Why am I getting all these things? So yeah, it's a weird, like for me, it was a bit of a weird transition, and it was almost like, I don't know what the word is, but like I remember probably between like 21 to 23 when it first started like happening and I was getting all these things, I was almost like, this is weird. I want to burn it all down.
Yeah. Self-sabotage.
Or like, I wouldn't even believe it. Like, I'd go and ask a girl on a date and she'd say yes. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
like,
the surprise, hey.
You're hot. Like, why are you saying yes to me? Like, what do you mean? Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is a weird identity shift. Like, you still kind of out externally, you might look good and be confident and all these things, but internally you're still like little fat kid who's like, she's not even going to look at me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely a bit of a transition for a good like 3-4 years there, and lots of self-sabotage.
It's funny, like you said, the shock. It's like you're into me, but I think that because that comes back to the rejection you felt when you were younger, of like you'd be interested in a girl and she wouldn't even look the other way. Yeah, and then suddenly, okay, now I'm fit, healthy, successful. Now people are interested in me, but you're still living in that old version of who you thought you were. Yeah, and it's hard to break out of that. Yeah, I would self-sabotage relationships through the fact I'd pedestal these girls because it was like, oh my God, like this girl is suddenly interested in me. She's way out of my, like whatever you think your league is. Yeah. And because of that, you treat her differently than what they like. Girls want equals. They don't want to be put on a pedestal. Yeah. So then I'd pedestal these women, like you're saying, because you'd be so like, oh, what, you're actually interested. Yeah. And then I think that comes back to when people say, oh, like, girls don't like nice guys. I'm like, it's the difference between being a nice guy and being someone that puts you on a pedestal and treats you differently and treats you as like better than. Yeah. And I think then they react to that poorly and pull away. And then they're like, why don't they like me? I'm the nice guy. I'm like, no, you're either over investing or not putting yourself on the same level as them, and they can feel and sense that. So then they're going to pull away. Did you feel like you had?
Yeah, 100%. I think exactly what you said. Yeah, 100%. It was definitely a bit of an issue, which is interesting because it's like the issue goes from can't get attention to now I can't maintain a relationship or maintain interest because you're doing exactly that. So it'd be like, oh my God, she's like a supermodel, she's a 10, and I'm just like still like this fat kid, and then you start basically being I was like, probably can't say that word, but I was like, you start turning into a little bit of a cuck, and you're just like, I'll give you all the things, and then then all of a sudden they're like repulsed and have the ick for you because you're being a little bitch essentially. So yeah, it's a bit of a pendulum swing to find that middle ground. But
how did you find you found that middle ground? What were the things that you put in place to?
Honestly, I think it's just consistency in time, and I think for me, I think it's a bit cliche, but like just build in trust and build in trust and respect in yourself, which takes a bit of time. But I think for me, like training, doing the thing you say you're going to do, like just having integrity. But like integrity to me is a skill that you practice every single day. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to go to the gym, go to the gym. If you say you're going to eat healthy, eat healthy. If you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain time, be there. So I think building integrity through micro actions every day consistently starts to build more inner trust, inner belief, and then eventually, I think self-love. And then when you get to that point, you're, that's not as much of an issue anymore because you have that like belief in yourself that like I am the guy who's fit. I am the guy who's like the business owner. I am the guy who's the athlete. Like you actually, your identity and your physical body start to merge together versus probably in the early days, you might relate. Like you got the physical body but then internally you're still, you're here. So like your personal development's not really catching up with who you are right now or who you want to be. I think that just takes repetition and action. Or for me anyway, it was just doing the thing every day for years.
I guess, for anyone listening that's never been successful at something and then suddenly become really successful at one thing, it's almost like this weird, like, because I think that like we get told so often what to do if you're not successful, what to do if it goes wrong, what to do if you don't get the job, what to do if you don't get the girl, what to do if it kind of turns to shit. But it's not very often that people come up to you and say, hey, if everything goes right and you get exactly what you want, this is what you may have to deal with also. It's like we don't plan for success, we plan for failure. And everyone around us supports us with failure, but no one really supports you when you're winning because it's like you're winning. Yeah. They don't look at that. And that's something that I felt when I started doing really well at my sport. It was like, again, like you said, you start to play, like you become this character or become this person in that